of 2014, which was 8 years ago, the federal government put out new rules for getting developmental services, and they are called Home and Community-Based Service, or in other words, HCBS settings rules. And in March of this next year, 2023, is the deadline for states to follow the rules. And the part of the federal government in charge of the rules is called CMS, or the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services.
So since we had a board meeting in the last month, some stuff has come down. Basically, I think, you know, GMSA has been talking about these rules for the last couple of years.
Yep.
And we've been concerned about it. So it's less than a year the states have to follow the rules. And what's happening is there's been 7 states that were chosen by the federal government where there's problems, where there's states that they feel are not following the rules, and Vermont's one of them. And so they're doing a visit to Vermont in August. And to get ready for that visit, they called up Green Mountain Self Advocates and a bunch of other organizations, disability rights organizations, and they met with us. They said, we want to meet with you in the next 2 weeks. We want to, because we want to know the kinds of things that we should be looking for when we come to visit in August. And so the DD Council organized, we had 2 meetings with the federal government, one to kind of get ready for the meeting, and then one was actually with some of the people that are coming up here. And so that's what happened. And we met with the officers, and we focused in on people who are getting some of the home and community-based service, especially residential services. Residential services is their main concern. And so they had a meeting with all of us, and there were a bunch of family members there. There was people there. There were lawyers there. So that meeting happened last week. Lisa, do you want Max to call on people so he can see people, or Lisa, or are you, it's hard for you to see,
able
right?
to see anyone, but
Max, as people raise their hand, do you mind calling on them?
Yeah, I got Sky, and then I thought Chad. Go ahead, Sky.
Sorry, thanks. I just had a quick question. Can you just residential services? What does that include?
So we're kind of figuring out, Sky, the chicken or the egg. Like, so now we're going to show a bunch of slides about the rules that the government's concerned about.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So there's basically about 6 rules that 6 categories of rules, and we're just kind of going to look at those real quick there. So.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No. Didn't mean it that way at all. That's good. Thank you for asking.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
Is there any way you can email me this, like the notes or something? That way I have them.
Yeah, we post the slides on our website, but I can go ahead and email them to everybody too. So.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
Go ahead, Chad.
Oh, I didn't have my hand up.
Oh, I thought you did. All right.
Nope.
All right, never mind.
So we want to do this quickly, but I don't know that we can do it quickly. We're going to try though, because we have a lot of stuff to talk about.
All right. So all HCBS providers have to follow all of these rules. If they don't, they can't get HCBS money from Medicaid. Sometimes an HCBS provider owns the place where you get HCBS. For example, if you live in a group home or shared living provider, there are rules, and the rules are like tenants' rights, extra privacy rights, physical accessibility, controlling your everyday life, having visitors, and getting food. So for
Lisa, is it okay if Max just kind of reads through these, or do you want to read through these?
Well, I feel like well, I'll start reading the tenants' rights, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Go for it.
The tenants' rights. People who rent houses are called tenants. People who rent houses and rent them to someone else are called landlords. Tenants have rights. This makes sure landlords cannot do unfair things to the tenants. The HCBS rules say that the provider owned settings, you are like a tenant. You get all the same rights as any other tenant, and your HCBS provider is like your landlord. Can't see the rest of it.
Just says they can't do, I'm sorry, it's too low there.
Oh, it just says they can't do unfair things to you.
Okay. Provider, more privacy rights. Provider-owned settings have to do more to show they respect our privacy. In provider-owned settings, you have to be able to lock your door to your room. Only roommates and in-home helpers can get the keys to the room or house. If you have a roommate, you get to pick your roommate. You can decorate your room or house any way you want. Physical accessibility. If you use a wheelchair, your house has to be wheelchair accessible. If you work in a provider-owned setting, during the day, it has to be accessible. It does not matter what kind of disability you have. Providers have to make sure your house is accessible to you. Keep going, or
you want a break, or are you doing all right? You want to trade it?
Good. Okay. Right to control your daily schedule. You have the right to decide and do whatever you want to do every day. You get to set your own schedule. You get to decide how to spend your time. You get to decide where and where you want to go. HCBS providers cannot control how you spend your time. They can't force you to do something you don't want to do, like make you go to bed at a certain time. They have to follow your schedule. Visitors at any time. You can always have visitors. You can have visitors at any time. You can have visitors from anyone you want. That means your friends, family, partner, or anyone else you can visit. HCBS providers cannot control what you do together while they are there. You can have people sleep over if you want. Access to food at any time. You can eat whatever you want in your house. You can get to eat whatever you want to, even if it's late at night. If you need help getting food, your provider has to help you. They cannot make you only eat certain foods or make you only eat at